Are you looking to move to Wellesley and wondering what your money will buy here in spring, summer of 2023? I've done videos about Metro West, and we've looked at what homes are selling for around $1 million, $1.5 million, and up to $2 million. And today we're going to take a snapshot view of what's happening between $2.5 million and $3 million in Wellesley, Massachusetts. I'll be showing you a few examples so you can know exactly what you're going to get from the perspective of a realtor who works primarily in Wellesley and surrounding towns. So I hope you enjoy. I'm Jane, and my channel is Living in the Boston Suburbs. Each week I release a video sharing helpful tips and market information about Greater Boston to help you make an informed decision if you are relocating to the Boston area. If you are moving and looking to purchase a home, please reach out, as I am so delighted to help my YouTube viewers find a new place to call home. The first house we're going to talk about is One Crown Bridge, which was actually my listing. It's in one of my favorite Wellesley neighborhoods in College Heights. You can walk to the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. You can walk to Wellesley Square and to all the shopping and the trains that will take you to downtown Boston. It's a really great vibe neighborhood with lots of activities, and people are friendly, and you'll see people out walking their dogs and their kids and having neighborhood get-togethers. And it's called College Heights because it was originally a neighborhood where lots of professors from Wellesley College lived, which is also pretty close by. So this was a really cool house built in 1920. And in 2020, a builder bought it and got renovated and expanded it. And then the current owners spent another about $300,000 of upgrades. They added some of this extra stonework, they added fencing, and inside they did a lot of upgrades as well. So I can share that a little bit further along. They added this parking area with pea stone gravel. So you have two spaces over here, and then the other side of the house, there's actually a garage under the house. So here's the sunroom foyer, and this was part of the original house. These are original doors, but beautifully updated. But one of the things about this house that's important to know is that the finishes and the style of the current owners was so amazingly fabulous that it definitely impacts how buyers view the house in a positive way. So it's a note, if you're ever selling your house, make sure you paint it in neutral colors and update as much as you can, because buyers really respond to condition. So they came along when the builder was finishing it, and they had the builder do some upgrades like this fat board, and they have very nice carpeting installed throughout. So this is the family room, which is open to the kitchen dining area. The house did not have an actual formal living room. It was one thing it didn't have. And the art was so cool that a couple of the realtors came through. I'll ask me where they buy their art, which I'm happy to share if you'd like to know. Shoot me a message and I'll send you some lists of cool places to buy art, some of which are online. So the kitchen was pretty fabulous, and the house had Pella windows, and they had added this really cool chandelier, which they did leave for the next owners. And as you can see, it's just streamlined, light, bright, open, just what families are looking for these days. This is a first floor office, which also could be a first floor guest room. There's a powder room that the builder had said could be a full, but the buyers, when they came along, said, no, we just want a half. And then up in the master, or now we say primary bedroom, to be more politically correct, they have this one accent wall with this special boards that were painted just to give it some visual interest. Amazing closets. That was another update that the buyers did. They made California closets, tricked out every closet. And here's the primary bath, which was beautiful. And there was another picture of the shower, but there was a lot of reflection. So you can see that there's a frameless shower door, and another ensuite guest room. That's another bath on the second floor. And then there's two other bedrooms that share a hall bath. This one they're using as an office. Of course, most people house hunting now are looking for at least two home offices. So it has impacted how people look at space. So this house had a lot of office options, which I will share with you. For the family, 2 bedrooms. So the third floor, they had added all of these fabulous built-ins, floor to ceiling, beautiful carpet, and then there's also a bathroom up here and another office, which is right here, which has nice natural light. So this is very flexible. So one of the things that appealed to buyers was that you could use the third floor as a nanny suite. An older teen could be up there, might never come down. It was a lot of flexibility. And this particular house did not have a very big basement. It has 2 laundries. So there's a big laundry in the basement and an oversized 2-car garage. And that's pretty much it with the mudroom. So your rec room space is really on the 3rd floor, which personally I think is great because it's cozier for the kids. Oh yes. And then there was also this separate room, and this equipment is going to stay behind for the next owner. I think the sellers are partially motivated by how heavy it was and how difficult it would be to get it downstairs. But the buyer has 2 teenagers and their parents work out, and they were happy to inherit the Peloton treadmill and the hoist. There's the basement mudroom and laundry deck, and one of those kids' bedrooms actually open to this 2nd floor balcony. Here's the side/backyard, and now you can see that 2-car garage underneath. So I'm sure you're dying to know what happened with the price. So the very first day it came on the market in May, we had 3 showings. And the very first buyer made a fantastic offer. We scrambled to see if we can squeeze offers out of the other 2, because that's what you do when you're representing the seller. You try to do your very best to get every single penny out of the house that you can. But ultimately, that first offer was so terrific that sellers have decided to accept it. So if you're curious about that number, send me a message, because I can't reveal it right now because we're in the midst of the contract. But if you're dying to know, I'm happy to share. But a very nice number. So that house is a classic example of a Wellesley home that's in an established neighborhood that was an older house with character that was renovated and updated, but does not have that classic floor plan that some buyers are seeking in new construction. So the next house we're going to look at is 36 Patton Rd, which is new construction by a very well-respected builder I like very much. And this was a pretty small lot. It is just about over 10,000 square foot lot in a neighborhood known as the Generals. It was an area that when soldiers were coming home from World War II, they sold them lots in this area and named the streets after prominent generals, such as Patton. Over the years, this has been a neighborhood with many homes that were replaced with larger homes or expanded. And this was a brand new house. Really cool and a lot of detail. So anytime a builder is adding all these extra roof lines and interest, that adds to the cost. So of course it adds to the curb appeal too. So I really love the way this looks from the street with the contrasting wood around these windows and the interesting roof line and kind of the classic open, bright, new construction feel. Open in the foyer, open to this beautiful living room, which is open to the kitchen. This is another neighborhood where it's near Morse's Pond. So it's a great place to walk your dogs. Sometimes in the winter we can skate there. There's a beach with lifeguards, and the water has a lot of iron ore, so it's kind of orangey, but I always say there's 2 kinds of people. There's pond people and pool people, and not everybody wants to swim here. My kids swam. We swam there for years when they were little. It's a great place for kids to go when they're old enough to congregate on their own. My kids learn to swim on the beach in the summer, and it's really pretty. And you can rent kayaks as well and go out for a little boat ride. So it's really nice. But as you can see, it's a dense neighborhood because there's a neighboring house next door, and you can see 2 across the street. So this is a place with gorgeous homes of differing ages, lots of new construction, but you're definitely going to get to know your neighbors. Love the kitchen, love the island. And this is nice because it has that extra fridge, and I like the contrasting backsplash over here on the extra wine fridge. See, and then there's your backyard. There's not much. So that for basically in Wellesley, for under $3 million, you are not getting a very big yard. Oh yes, that was your dining room. We always say dining rooms are less important these days to buyers. For almost $3 million, you should have one. Beautiful bedroom with a nice vaulted ceiling. And I love this oversized bath with the 2 sinks and a soaking tub. All those built-in tubs are gone, and they've all been about the soaking tub these last few years. So here we are in the lower level. And as you can see, the builder did a great job giving you really good ceiling height. And there's a nice big window well, so for egress. So this doesn't count as a bedroom unless you make that a certain size. The firefighter could get people out, but actually I think the code is so a fat firefighter can get in, or I'll say a big muscular firefighter. Nice, more another shot of the basement and a gym and a little patio on the back. Really nice, nothing better than new. So for this house, I actually called the broker because when I was pricing Crown Ridge, I said, hey, what happened here with the price? Because it was on, even in this super hot market, it's on for $28995. And you can see here that it sold for $28995 and the days on market is 0. It went right under agreement. So the builder got a full price offer day one. And sometimes builders just want to move on to the next project and not hang around and see if he can eke out a little bit more. And that was what that builder decided to do. So the third house, we're going to travel across town to a neighborhood over by the Upham School. And this is an area with larger lots. So here you'll see we have a 20,000 and change square foot lot and larger elegant homes. And a lot of homes of this era were built in the 60s in this neighborhood. And a lot have been expanded and renovated over the years. It was a bit of a mix. So one thing you're never going to get in a 1960s house is the tall ceilings that you get in new construction. And some buyers won't consider homes that don't have soaring ceilings. And now we're seeing typically 9 feet on the first floor and 8 on the second, and very often 8 or 9 in the basement as well. So the main part of the house has a more modest ceiling, but even though my family's very tall, I don't really mind a lower ceiling. I think it's kind of cozy. But this foyer has nice wainscoting and a nice formal living room. And so here's all the original space from the 60s. The lot is not very deep. It was wide. So it had a nice wide kitchen, which was updated about 15 years ago. This is classic too from the time that they're renovating the kitchens. They used to build these in kitchen desks, but those have evolved as we've gone to more wireless everything, but nice and light and bright. But again, you still have a neighbor right behind you. Beautiful family room, lots of built-ins. So this was an addition that was done, I believe, in 2000. It did have this nice formal mahogany or cherry office that was part of the original house, but there was one kind of thing that I thought was a little bit funky. Okay, so now we're upstairs in the primary suite, and I would never have been able to keep carpet for 23 years looking as good as they did, but they really did. It really showed beautifully, and they had nice built-ins, and it's huge. And the bedroom had a bath, so they had all these built-ins. That would be $40,000 to install today. But the bathroom was a little bit showing its age. Oh, this is my favorite because you can see the photographer in the mirror. That's a no-no. So they have a double sink and makeup area in the middle and the old sunken jet tub with shiny gold fixtures, which we just generally you would think that this might have daunted a buyer because some of the finishes were dated. However, I'm going to tell you at the end, this was not the case. I do think the realtor did a great job prepping this home for sale. They got it all emptied out. It was freshly painted, it was staged, so it was clean and bright. And here we are in the lower level, and it was actually a walkout lower level. And this was where I thought it was a little bit bizarre. This big tiled area that appeared to be a kitchen, and then this one end was like an office. So it had a fridge and a sink and a little dishwasher. You can't have a stove in Massachusetts, or then they think it's a 2-family, so that's against the rules. And it had this exercise room. It might have been a half, but regardless, I'm pretty sure there was no bath. And then they had this nice beautiful bluestone patio, but the yard was really way off to the side. So you can see there's the house, the yard's way over. Personally, I don't think I would have taken a picture from this angle, but it didn't hurt them. So now I'm going to go back and show you what happened with the money. It was on for $2,395 and it sold the first weekend for $2,775. So it's a 5,400 square foot house, 5 bedrooms, 3 full, 2 half baths. Yeah, actually there was no bath in the basement because both those halves were on the first floor. And I'm guessing they had more than one offer. So buyers are not shy about going over asking for homes that they perceive as a good value. So then Shaw. Now Shaw is one of my favorite neighborhoods. I've said before, I like to live in a walk to Starbucks world and a walk to the train. And this is my old neighborhood where we lived for about 10 years. And it's Shaw Road. This is again, new construction. And this neighborhood, again, just over 10,000 square foot lots. So as you can see, it was on for $2,795 and it sold for $2,795. So let's go down and look what happened with the timing. So this was listed last September. We did see a pause in the market last fall after interest rates went up. That was fall of 2022. And it's not uncommon for builders to list homes before they're ready for sale. So days on market can accumulate. So as you can see, this didn't go under contract until February, but they still got their asking price. So for this particular listing, this is a rendering. So it is a well-known builder, well-respected. It's called Sprague Estates is the neighborhood. If you want to know where that is, send me a message and I'm happy to share more info. This had the garage in the back. Shaw cuts through to Route 9, which is a 4-lane highway, but generally you can't come off Route 9 and take a right. It's technically one way. So it's got the benefit of being convenient to Route 9 without getting traffic cutting through. People tend to cut through on neighboring streets. Well, at least I do. But again, so not everything goes soaring over asking. And that's one of the things that's hard to suss out and why you need a local expert to help you figure out what you should offer on these homes coming on the market. If you're thinking about moving to the Wellesley area, please reach out, as I love to help my YouTube viewers. Or if you have a home to sell in Wellesley, give me a buzz as we can talk about that too. Remember to subscribe because I'm releasing a new video every week, and drop me a line if you have any specific questions about the homes that I've shown you, or if you're interested in other areas in Metro West. Thanks for watching.